Well, good afternoon. It's great to be here in Collier County for a great announcement. I'm excited about it. I'm also excited to see so many happy people down here in this beautiful weather and everyone doing so well. So there's a lot of other places you could do a heck of a lot worse right now than here. We are here today to make an announcement about education. It's something that we've put an awful lot of emphasis on since I've been governor. If you remember my first year in office, and I think we may have done one of the announcements down here in Collier County, we eliminated Common Core from Florida curriculum, signed into law milestone civic literacy legislation, and issued a very significant executive order to make Florida the national leader in vocational and technical education by the year 2030. Last year, year 2020, a lot of this got lost because of the coronavirus pandemic, but we actually had an initiative to take Florida from the bottom half of states to the top 5 states for average minimum salary for teachers. And so we were able to accomplish that. We're now in the top 5. We're looking to do even more this year because we believe that recruiting good people to be in the classroom is something that we need to do going forward. So we've made promises, we've kept the promises, but we want to always do more and build off the momentum that we can. And so today I'm happy to announce a new initiative to support our efforts in civics literacy and civics education. So we're releasing a $106 million proposal to make Florida the national leader in civics education. Now I'm urging the legislature to take up this proposal during the current legislative session using the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund, which is called ESSER, that was provided to the state last year through the CARES Act and subsequent additional federal appropriations. So the money's there. We need to figure out the best way to use it. This initiative places an emphasis on the development and support of high-quality civics education and rewards classroom teachers who take part in it. Furthermore, the proposal leaves no stone unturned in creating a lasting legacy in the way Florida prepares, invests, and rewards teachers in civics education for generations to come. Most notably, our proposal will direct the Department of Education to create the Florida Civics Seal of Excellence, a new professional endorsement for civics education. Under this initiative, the department will partner with national leaders in civics professional development to provide a series of modules and micro-credentials that any Florida teacher will be eligible to attain. And for every teacher completing the training and earning the Florida Civic Seal of Excellence endorsement, they will receive a $3,000 bonus, and those teachers take civics best practices and teaching strategies back to their schools and community. That will be well worth it. So now more than ever, it's essential that we place an emphasis on civics education in our schools. We want obviously to have good teachers teaching really good curriculum to help us fulfill that mission. So that's just one part of it. We're also dedicating $16.5 million for additional trainings, professional development, and classroom supports for our principals and teachers seeking to elevate civics education in their schools. Now, we are going to be doing certain civics courses, which are very important, but you can also incorporate civics in other subject matters as well. You can do it in English. You can do it, of course, in history and all these other places. So yes, if you're a civics teacher, you should get this seal of excellence for sure. But you could also get it if you're teaching other subjects and be able to incorporate this. So we will be creating regional civics coaches and providing support systems for teachers, schools, and districts to receive personalized, targeted resources in building out civics program. In-training seminars will take place throughout the state, as will virtual trainings to give teachers the flexibility to train at their own pace. And think about it, you can get some of the best civics experts in the country to do some of these virtual trainings. We're going to have funding to be able to do that, to take the very best and bring it right into our own school districts here in the state of Florida. So we also know how important our principals are in supporting and engaging teachers, which is why we are providing specific professional development for principals to implement civics initiatives with teachers in their school. In addition to classroom-specific programs, these supports will also enhance the Florida Civics and Debate Initiative that I created in January of last year. Through our initiative, the number of debate clubs in Florida has nearly doubled, and this proposal will continue to engage Florida teachers and students in civics programs both inside and outside of the classroom. We also want to be able to support our teachers by making investments in our civics curriculum. Included in the proposal, $17 million to bolster Florida civics curriculum and to expedite the implementation of Florida's best standards, which is what we did to repeal and replace Common Core. A high-quality education begins with a high-quality curriculum, which is why we're going to be laser focused on developing the best possible civics instruction standards. Florida's civics curriculum will incorporate foundational concepts with the best materials, and it will expressly exclude unsanctioned narratives like critical race theory and other unsubstantiated theories. Let me be clear, there's no room in our classrooms for things like critical race theory. Teaching kids to hate their country and to hate each other is not worth 1 red cent of taxpayer money. So we will invest in actual, solid, true curriculum, and we will be a leader in the development and implementation of a world-class civics education. There are current legislative proposals for the development of integrated civics literacy curriculum, civics curriculum support to school districts, and to curate top-in-class oral history resources through the Department of Education. The proposals outlined today will complement these legislative proposals, and I encourage the legislature to pass this legislation and send it to my desk. Through this plan, we will preserve, elevate, and expand access to civics education for the children of today and the classrooms of tomorrow. Another important part in installing a legacy of high-quality civics education is the creation of professional and volunteer pathways for students to get hands-on experience in the role of public service and in government. So our proposal includes $6.5 million towards a career pathways program to launch pilots for public service incubators to develop partnerships between secondary schools and government institutions. This program will enable interested students to explore government and public administration up close and in person, and to inspire the next generation of public servants and leaders in our state. Furthermore, my proposal will establish a statewide partnership for student volunteer opportunities in government. We have it in my governor's office, we have it in the legislature, but we also have opportunities to do much broader than that. These will be meaningful access points for students to volunteer their time and gain not only service hours, but experiences that will help shape their outlook on society and on potential careers. Now, while this proposal recommends the use of one-time federal funds provided through the CARES Act and subsequent funding measures passed by Congress, these expenditures are meant to provide a meaningful influx of civics teacher resources, curriculum, and classroom supports in our schools. Existing funds provided to the school district and the ESSER funds, totaling more than $9.8 billion available over the next several years, are available for districts to choose to continue their participation in these programs in future years. So I think if you look around the country, not just in Florida, over the last many years, maybe decades, understanding what our country was founded on, understanding the civic tradition, the Constitution, all these things, has become very much a lost art. If you go into a lot of these universities now even, and you want to study some of the foundational principles of our country and our society, it's a lot harder to find those courses, which would have been in the past something that everyone would be expected to know. Instead, they engage in these politicized academic fads and offer courses that reflect, which is really ideology, not actual facts. And so we have an opportunity to get it right. Now, we've done a lot in Florida. This has been a priority of mine since the time I became governor. We are having the test for the seniors. We wanted to do it with the COVID. It made it more difficult. but we will be, within the next 2 years, having all the graduating seniors passing effectively a citizenship test like legal immigrants have to pass to become citizens of our country. And so I think that this is something that will make a big impact. No matter what subject you talk about, I mean, look, I took chemistry, biology, math, history, but I only went into certain things that were with certain relevance, and other people go into other things. But understanding the role of a citizen, it doesn't matter what field you go into. We're all expected to exercise the duties of citizenship, and that, of course, means voting, but it also means being involved in your community, participating in the political process in some way or another. And so having graduating kids with the foundational knowledge to understand what makes America unique, understand the principles that people have fought for, is really, really important. And especially in a time where, you know, we have so much political bitterness, we have people who are very polarized in one side or the other. I'm not suggesting that this is the only thing that we need to do to kind of get beyond that, but I do think part of the reason you have some of the divisions is because you don't have a common foundation that all citizens are referencing in terms of understanding, you know, the American Revolution, the Constitution, understanding people like Lincoln, understanding what we did in World War II, fighting the Cold War, all these important things that are so important. Some people, I think, reference it. I think other people reference something totally different. And so we want to be unified on this. We want to understand that these principles, no matter if your family came on the Mayflower or you just became a naturalized citizen yesterday, you know, these principles are meant for you. We really believe that this country gives people the ability to succeed, and we want people to be invested in that and invested in our future. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be something that's going to be really, really good, and particularly having the bonuses for the teachers. Look, we can sit here as a state and say, you got to do the COTSA, you got to do all this, you can't do critical race, you got to do this. But you got to have teachers in there that are dedicated and that really understand this and that are passionate about educating the youth. So I think having something, this program, where you have bonuses attached to it, I think you're going to draw in more people to want to be teachers in civics. Also what we're doing with general teacher salaries. So it's exciting. It's exciting to be here, and I think that this is going to be something that will go an awful long way. So I'm happy that we're able to roll this out. I think the legislature will be able to look favorably upon it. You know, we got this money dumped. I could have just spent it myself and said it's emergency spending. But instead, I think the proper thing to do is work with the legislature, have them appropriate money like we normally do, and then I think it'll be that much better if we're able to do it. So thank you guys for being here. We're excited about the announcement. Take a couple questions. Dave?
Yeah, Governor, a lot of money coming in from the federal government, allowing for these bonuses for teachers, and then some people are asking as far as bonuses for first responders. Are we considering giving it to nurses and people in those fields as well?
So what I announced yesterday, first of all, Florida is getting shortchanged on this stimulus money because we've done it better than these other states. That's just a fact. What they're doing is they're saying who has had the highest unemployment in the fourth quarter of 2020 gets plussed up. States like Florida that have had lower unemployment, we get plussed down. So we got shortchanged about $2 billion if they had just done this from the population basis. And so that's just the reality. They engineered this to be able to reward the states that have performed the worst. And I think that's not, you don't want to reward folks who are putting people out of work and destroying businesses. Why would you want to do that? That was done on the basis of their policies. We did different policies in Florida, have done much better in COVID than the New Yorks and the New Jerseys and the Illinois. If you look, we have in Florida for age 65 and up, which is where we focus most of our efforts, protecting our seniors. There's 40 states in this country that have higher per capita mortality for seniors for COVID than the state of Florida is. And yet, we're open for business. Our unemployment's 4.8%, which when you think about it, our cruise ships aren't allowed to sail. I don't have travel coming in from South America and Europe like we normally would. So I could be under 4% if I had leisure and hospitality back where it was. So we don't even have that, and we're still there. Some of these lockdown states, they're 8 or 9% on unemployment, and they have worse COVID results. And California's done worse than us too. People say, oh, they're slightly below Florida on per capita mortality. Yes, but they're one of the youngest states in the country. We're one of the oldest states in the country. The fact is, if you were a senior citizen, you were less likely to die with COVID in Florida than you were in California, even though they are the quintessential lockdown, drag out, closed schools, closed businesses state. So why you would structure a bill to do that, I don't know. Nevertheless, we're getting a certain amount of funding. I rolled out a proposal yesterday, about $4.1 billion out of the 10 that we're likely to get, where we made recommendations on certain things. So, for example, we're going to make sure that our infrastructure, our highway program is full speed ahead. We had to delay some of it because some of the revenue went down. Revenue is coming in better, but we'll put some of that money towards there. All our projects will be able to go. We need the infrastructure. We got to do it. We're doing $1 billion for resiliency projects to make sure that we're able to protect against flooding and some of the other things that a disaster-prone state has to deal with. We're also going to do $1 billion for emergency response fund. So right now, if there would be a hurricane this summer here, hopefully there won't be, knock on wood, when we respond, we would put out money. We'd eventually get reimbursed part of it by FEMA, but that just comes out of our general revenue. So we believe having a separate emergency fund, you can pay out of that, get the reimbursements back into that. You never have to touch general revenue ever again. So we think it makes a lot of sense, but we are proposing a $1,000 bonus for all EMTs, sworn police officers, law enforcement, and firefighters, because they've had to do a lot over the past year. They have not been getting necessarily any increased pay. So we think that that's good, and you may be able to do more. We're not saying that you can't do more, but we put a marker down saying, we want to make sure some want to defund the police, we want to refund the police in Florida. Yes, ma'am. So I think you're going to see, I know there's some concern in the legislature about some of these theories that are just not grounded in fact. They may do something in the legislature on that. Look, at the end of the day, we just need to do the basics in Florida, and not just with civics. Do the basics with English, do the basics with math, the basics with science. We need to get the politicization out of this curriculum. Our schools are supposed to give people a foundation of knowledge. They're not supposed to be indoctrination centers where you're trying to push specific ideologies. And so I think if you look and you teach the basics, you use the primary sources, it speaks for itself. And I think that should be, but we're going to get very high quality curriculum, but it is going to be foundational curriculum. It's not going to be ideological or faddish curriculum that you see some of these other states, what they're doing, trying to get basically, they're trying to make people view each other based on race. I want to do the opposite. I want to treat people as individuals. I want to treat people based on character. But when you put this curriculum in, it ends up creating more divisions. And so I think we understand some of the things that are not working in other parts of the country, and we don't want that to come to Florida. Well, so I think when we're funding, I think that there's going to be certain curriculum that is going to obviously pass muster, that is going to be high quality, and that is going to do the basics, and that is not politicized. And I think that people will be able to choose from within that. But some of the money, I don't want the money going to funding things that are not accurate or that are based in ideology. And so we'll work through that with the legislature to see how we get that done.
Governor, I know lawmakers were concerned about getting funding for the Connect system. Do you think you'll have enough money to completely fix that?
So in my budget recommendation yesterday, the supplemental for the $4.1 billion out of the $10 billion, we recommend basically doing what the report said. So it's about $73 million to be able to modernize that and deal with some of the problems that we've seen. So I think that that'll get done, and my hope is that it actually is put to good use, because they spent a lot of money on this system. You know, it wasn't like they shortchanged it. I mean, man, they spent a lot of money. So we want to do that, and you know, fortunately, 99+% of all the applications have been processed, and so we've made a lot of internal changes with the architecture, but I think this will make it a system that's going to be more built for the long haul, which we need to do. Yes, ma'am.
Governor DeSantis, yesterday in Tallahassee, lots of students, teachers talking about another piece of education legislation, Senate Bill 86. One young gentleman stood up. He said he is a Republican. He would lose probably upwards of $10,000 if this future legislation were to pass. He called it government overreach. Do you think it is?
So I'm not exactly sure the details on it, but I've made very clear, you know, I think Bright Futures is something that Florida families have relied upon. It's something that I support. I fully funded it in my budget, and we hope that the legislature follows suit with that as well. Okay, well, thanks so much. We appreciate it.